is the first man of
What
the
to
movie
rent.
review.
And what to skip. It's Movie Reviews with Ryan J.
All right, now I'll tell you. It's the first man of movie reviews in Milwaukee. It's Ryan J. He's the nationally syndicated film critic, and he's here today to help make the right choice this weekend.
Aye, aye, Captain.
There we go. Oh. Less germs in which
Yes.
part of the theater?
I was inspired by Captain Crunch, actually.
Oh, I like that. That's my favorite
I could
cereal.
never do ice and cereals.
What about ice and milk?
I can handle that.
Ice and beer?
I don't drink milk.
I don't
I
either.
don't drink beer.
Yeah. You know
Champagne only, Molly.
I should have known. What's
Yeah.
funny about milk is there's a long article about is milk really good for you, and I won't get into it, but the findings are very interesting that milk is not really all that good for us.
Aren't we the
And
only
as
mammals?
And as adults, we're not built to digest it, apparently.
We're the only mammals that drink it after infancy.
I even cook and bake with almond milk now.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, good for you, you little
Right.
health
Right,
nut.
aren't I?
I
Yeah,
like
so,
that.
Okay, so
All right,
everybody's super
everybody's
excited.
yellow.
Yeah.
Everything's yellow, it seems like.
I know. People are very excited about the Minions movie, Minions, and they're wearing their Minions t-shirts and getting their picture taken by the poster and stuff. And, you know, they were such the scene stealers in both Despicable Me movies that whenever you saw it, you wanted more of them. And you kind of hoped for them to have their own movie. Well, here you get it.
Well-
And it might be a little bit better in theory than it actually is in reality.
No.
Well, it's true because in the first one, I feel like when you saw them in little bits and pieces, you wanted more because you could barely understand them, so
That's
you
just the
wanted to
thing.
like listen longer.
Right, and they do speak their Minion gibberish, and you can totally follow what's going on. But I found that when you go so long without actual language, it drags a bit.
Oh, so they have no language at all.
Well, they have their Minion gibberish, and every like 500th word or something is like an actual language, like it's a word from Italian or French or Hebrew or Japanese. And even if you don't know the word, you recognize it as actual language. That helps hook you a bit.
It's interesting. What about the voices? Because is it very similar to like Despicable Me in terms of what you hear?
Yeah, and we have some great star power in this. You've got Sandra Bullock as the villain, John Hamm is in it, Michael Keaton, very good, Allison Janney. So it's fun, and it just, the one thing that I found kind of difficult with this movie is that right after seeing Inside Out recently,
yeah.
which was so good
Everybody
and so
loves.
deep, this movie is much lighter, and you know, it is what it is. It skews more juvenile, it's more for the kids, so.
So it's good for the kids, not necessarily the whole family?
It is fine, like you will enjoy it if you're an adult. I am saying see it because it is great, it's fun, the CGI animation is fantastic, the 3D is really good, but it's not one like Inside Out where you could go as an adult and enjoy it on your own. This is one that you'll take the kids who will love it and you'll like it too.
Well, interesting because it's had so much buzz. I mean, the Today Show, they're all wearing yellow and everything is about the Minions. And
marketing.
yeah, it's all about that, isn't it?
And I'm sure it will do very well, and it deserves to. It's really fun, but it's just, you know, it's no Inside Out.
Yeah, and you got to keep it real, right?
Yes,
You can't just
absolutely.
be like, oh, it's awesome if it's a
Right.
little so-so. Okay, Selfless, rated PG-13.
Yes, this is a new sci-fi action thriller, and it stars Ben Kingsley as an aging, unwell tycoon who pays a lot of money to have his mind transplanted into the younger, healthier body of Ryan Reynolds.
Okay.
Whoa.
What are the words you've used to describe this that we've heard you kind of say is thin? Why do you use that?
That's because the premise is really cool, but then the actual articulation of the story is sort of straightforward. Not a lot of subplots. The action sort of ebbs and flows, but it just kind of is more straightforward and doesn't really doesn't have much meat to it. So I think it's more of a thin movie.
Okay. I get that. What do you see, though, as being the strengths of it?
It has a really great design to it, and the acting is really good. I like the score and the editing, and it has some great twists that are effective, and the action scenes that are there are sort of suspenseful. But overall, it's something that, again, it deals with the concept and the question of immortality, but doesn't go further and raise the theme of like the soul. So this one's a rental. I'd say, you know, wait till you catch it on cable someday or see it at home.
All right. The last one, Amy, rated R.
Yeah, this is a new documentary about the late jazz superstar Amy Winehouse, and it is just heartbreaking.
Is it?
Yeah, because, you know, it's like Titanic. You know how it's going to end.
Yeah.
But it's really, really good. You learn so much about her.
Who appears in it?
It's interesting because it's almost as though it's narrated by Amy herself. They got so much great access to first-hand account material from her, almost her own video diaries. And you see her from when she was a child. You see her before she was, you know, she became really famous and she had the beehive hairdo. And you realize there were some key moments where people could have really helped her and didn't. And she was so ill-equipped to deal with not only the drug addiction, but she had bulimia and then pressure from the record label and depression and all these other issues going on. And it just is a slow descent, and it's painful to watch.
Did it seem like, I think so many people speculated that there were enablers and things like that around her. How did you leave feeling? Did you feel bad for her?
I just wanted to go right away and see her music. Listen to the music. You can't see her in concert, but you can see this movie. This is one to see in the theater. It's so good. The way that they show the lyrics on the screen and how autobiographical they are when you realize what was going on in her life. She wrote all of her own lyrics. She played guitar. She was a real musician. She just like oozed music in her veins. So yeah, I mean, it's uplifting in the sense that you get to revisit some time with the great legend, but it's also heartbreaking. So see it though. I definitely recommend it.
Looks really gritty. You have a new movie club.
I do. This is for Ant-Man, another big Marvel superhero movie. So you can enter to win a pair of Admit One passes at my website. The screening is Tuesday, July 14th at 7:30, and you can enter to win at my website, ryanjreviews.com.
All right, thanks, Ryan.
Thank you too.
Love the shoes, by the way.
Thanks.
Super cool. There's his website there in this screen. Don't forget to like him on Facebook, too, and follow him on Twitter. And then we have that for the full movie reviews. Great to see you. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks so much, Ryan.
Thank you.